Hey there, drone fans. Today I'll give you my updated review of the brand new DJI N3 goggles after having flown with them for a couple of months with both the DJI Neo and the DJI Avata 2. Now, I've been using DJI goggles ever since they released the first version. I think it was 10 years ago at this point, and I remember it well because I was at a CES show and I got pulled into a private booth, and there on the table was a set of DJI goggles that they were about to announce. And they were running a video inside the goggles, and they said, "Put those on your head and let us know what you think." And I slipped those goggles over my head, and I was completely pulled into the scene that I was viewing. It was a complete immersive experience, unlike anything I'd experienced before. And honestly, I'd flown with other goggles. I had a couple of pairs of Fat Sharks and a couple other manufacturers' goggles, but nothing really immersed me in that scene as well as that first generation of DJI goggles. And I thought to myself, this is going to change the game completely for people that are flying drones. And to remind you what those goggles look like, here's a pair right here that I actually still fly with. But look at the size of these. Look at that optics cage right there. And look at the size of the headband and the battery built in. I mean, they work really well, but they're big and clunky. It's a first generation product, but it did the job. And since then, DJI's constantly been innovating their goggles, making them smaller, making them more powerful, improving the lensing on the front, adding features like AR pointers and all kinds of other things to them. And the N3 represents the latest generation of goggles that are really geared more for consumers. Now, I fly a lot with the Goggles 3. This is the Goggles 3 next to it. And these are wonderful goggles. They're incredibly good. They're professional. They work really well. Flying the Avata with these is just a really tight experience. And there are a lot of features that are in here that most consumers are not going to take advantage of. So the N3 gives you a phenomenal experience through the goggles, but it eliminates a lot of the bells and whistles that maybe you'll never use. So when they came out with the N3, I thought to myself, okay, what are they going to drop? Like, because of the price, I mean, there's a big price difference between these two. They can't possibly fit all the features from the original Goggles 3 into the N3. And honestly, the stuff that's not in there, things like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, a couple other things, GPS, I don't really care about. I mean, I've got that in the drone. I don't really care about Bluetooth or Wi-Fi at that point. So the goggles are really built for the consumer that wants to fly an N3 or even fly an Avata at a really decent price point. So I'm going to spend a few minutes and talk about some of the observations of what I've come across after flying with these again for a couple of months. Now, the first thing I like about it is they're based on the latest Ocusync technology, 04, which is important because both the Neo and the Avata 2 use 04. Maybe DJI is coming out with another FPV kit with 04, so that if you're building your own FPV, you buy that kit and you put it on your FPV. I can't say for sure, but maybe they are. There may be new drones coming. Ocusync 4 is their latest technology. There are other DJI drones that fly with Ocusync 4. So for me, knowing I'm the latest version of Ocusync means there's that open possibility that DJI might release firmware that'll update the goggles to fly with other drones that are out today and maybe even future drones. But the key here is that Ocusync 4 technology is a rock solid technology for the transmission from the drone. And when you're flying FPV, one of the most critical things is the response time. You don't want to have any latency between what the drone sees and what you see inside the goggles. Because when you're zipping between trees or you're flying around really crowded areas, if there's a couple of milliseconds of latency, you could have already smacked into the tree before you realize it inside the goggles. So using Ocusync 4 technology not only gives you a greater distance of control where you've got a strong signal, but it gives you that immediacy of imaging from the drone to make sure that you see exactly what's going on. So I like that an awful lot. Another big feature that the N3s have, which is something that's been kind of a thorn in my side on all the goggles that I fly with, is that I wear glasses. I wear these when I'm doing things up close. These are reading glasses, and when I'm wearing the Goggles 3, I can't fit them on inside the goggles. It's not going to work for me. So sure, I can adjust the IPD distance, I can adjust the lensing to get me close, but it's not going to be perfect. So when I'm flying with the Goggles 3, everything's a little bit blurry. It's a little bit off, just a little bit off, and if I fly for too long, I find that my brain is trying to adjust for that fuzziness, and then when I take the goggles off, it takes me a half an hour to get back to Earth. So with these, they design them where the cage is big enough, the optics is big enough, where I can leave my glasses on, slide them over, pop it on my head, and leave my glasses on and fly with it. That's a major advantage for anybody out there that wears glasses. And honestly, I think the population of the US, a large percentage of the population uses a pair of glasses. And I know I can have lenses cut for these. I actually did have custom lenses cut for the Goggles 3, but that's expensive. It's something else I got to bring along. It's something else to lose. With these, they're designed to put your glasses on, pop the goggles on, and just start flying. So I think that's really amazing. Another thing I like about the N3s is that it has live view sharing. So I can actually connect a USB-C cable here to my phone open up the DJI Fly app, and as I'm flying, I can have a friend on a tablet or on my iPhone watch what I'm watching. So it's a way for you, if you're taking your wife, your kids, whoever with you, for them to actually enjoy what you're seeing in that FPV view. It draws them into the experience as well. You can also connect to other goggles over connection. So there's a lot of ways that you can share the imaging inside with external devices. I think that's a big plus with these goggles. I think they've done a great job. Another thing you can do with the goggles, which is kind of cool, is you can watch a movie on them. So you can drop an SD card in with a movie on it, and you can watch the movie in full widescreen 1080p quality, 60 frames a second, and you can get an adapter for the USB-C that's a digital analog converter and plug in a set of headphones, so you can sit on your couch and you've got a widescreen TV in front of you watching that beautiful blockbuster movie. So that's kind of cool. Another thing they did, which I like a lot, and this is something they introduced in previous versions of it, is this AR cursor. So when you're using the motion controller, it's almost like you're playing a video game. If you've ever done any kind of VR gaming where you've got a headset on and you've got a cursor from the control, that's exactly the same. So when you're inside the goggles, you can actually move through the menus and make selections using the cursor and this motion controller. So it allows you to eliminate the need to go fumbling trying to find the buttons on the top of the unit and make sure you turn them in the right direction. It just gives you a quick way to get in there and start recording things. Another thing I like an awful lot, which is something they introduced in a previous version of the goggles, is the home beacon. Because if you're flying FPV, your focus is on the image and your focus is on the flying. So your main concern is you're dodging trees, you're avoiding trees. You may very well lose sense of where home point is because you're flipping, you're turning around, you're doing a lot of acro. With these, there's a digital home point that actually shows up around the outside of the screen. So when I'm ready to come back to where I took off from, I know immediately that that beacon's on the right-hand side. I've got to turn right, and then the beacon centers on the unit, and I can fly right back to that beacon. So it gives me a safety feature built in that even though I kind of know where I am based on looking at the topology of the ground that I'm flying over, knowing where that beacon is gives me a quick way to identify where that home point is so I can spin around and head back to that home point. Another thing that's really nice is the one-tap defog, which I can't stress this enough. When you're flying FPV in the summers, it's kind of a catch-22. You want the goggles to be form-fitting enough that you don't have light leakage inside of them. These are phenomenal for that, by the way. This rubber ring around the outside and these two flaps at the bottom, when you put that on, it's like you're standing in a dark room, even if you're outside in bright sunlight. So they've done a great job of eliminating the light leakage. The problem, though, is when it's form-fit that tight, when you're out, especially in the sun, you're going to sweat a little bit. And when you sweat, what happens? Moisture gets inside the optics cage, and it starts fogging up the lenses. And then you got to take them off and clean them up, put them back on again. It's just a hassle. With this, you can click one button. It does an automatic defog where it pulls all that humidity out of the inside of the goggle cage and it exits it through the top of the unit. So that one button defog is a really big advantage on these goggles in particular. Another trick, which I don't know if a lot of people know or not, is you can actually charge these while you're flying. And we tested that a couple of times, and it works great. So you can actually have a small battery bank in your pocket with a nice long USB cable, plug it into the USB-C port on the top, and you can charge them while you're flying because the goggles give you about 2.7 hours or maybe a little longer of use when you're flying. But if it's a long day and you're flying an awful lot, maybe you need 3 or 4 hours worth of flight time. Obviously, don't do that in a row. You want to take breaks when you're flying FPV. But if you want to fly longer, just plug the USB-C cable in, put it into the battery bank, slide it in your pocket, and you can continue to fly. That's really important if you're watching a movie because if you only have 2 hours of battery or 2.5 hours of battery, most movies are longer than that. So if you're going to sit down and watch a movie, plug in an adapter that has the DAC for the headphones and it has a USB-C connection on it, and that way you can charge it while you're watching those movies and enjoying that content. And the last thing I'll say, which is something they did on the Goggles 3 as well, is the integrated battery. This is a huge advantage because prior to this, older versions of the goggles had that battery that was in your pocket and you'd have a cable up there and dangling and all the rest of it, and it was a headache. It really was. With this one, this battery's in the back, and I'm telling you, the balance on this, because of the weight of the battery, it's perfectly balanced for the headset and the battery in the back. When you slide this on, even though you can feel a little bit of weight on your head, it's not like with this guy where you're constantly fighting this forward motion of your head being pulled forward. With this, because of the battery and the headset being perfectly balanced, it's really easy. It's not like I'm feeling my head moving in any direction if I relax. It's completely balanced in a vertical position. So I like that an awful lot about it. And the other thing I'll mention is that I think when the engineers sat down to build these goggles, they thought about a way to build goggles that didn't use dual screens, just using a single screen. This one actually has a wider field of view than the Goggles 3. This has got a 54-degree field of view. It's a much wider field of view, which means you've got a much more immersive experience on either side of it. So it's a broader view and it's a wider view. It's 1080p, 60 frames a second. It's crystal clear inside the unit. And the last thing I'll mention is I've seen some people out there sort of commenting that there's pin cushioning going on around the edges of the unit. One thing I like about this too, and I do this myself, is that you can actually scale down the display. So normally 100% will take it right to the edge of the display. For me, bringing it down to 90% or 80%, it shrinks the screen a little bit, but it eliminates that pin cushioning on either side. And for me, I start to get a little bit fuzzy towards the edges, so shrinking it down a tiny bit gives me a little bit of a smaller screen, but it gives me a nice square image, and I can see everything all the way to the four corners. So maybe something you'd want to try as well. Anyway, that's all I had for today. I just wanted to spend a few minutes and talk about some of the observations that I've come across after flying with these for a couple of months. I'm telling you, I constantly am amazed by the engineering team at DJI sitting down, thinking about a new product, building in all the advanced features they have into a product that I think is priced right for most consumers, especially if you're looking for a new drone like the DJI Neo. Maybe you're new to flying and you start off flying this from your hand as sort of a selfie drone and using your phone. Maybe you add a controller, but if you want to fly FPV with the Neo, the N3s will do the job, and the motion controller as well. It's a completely different experience flying FPV than it is flying a camera drone. And for me, I don't know, when I go out to fly and I've got full batteries with me, I'm constantly debating back and forth. Am I going to fly it as a camera drone or am I going to fly it as FPV? And I really enjoy both of them, so hopefully you do as well. Thanks an awful lot for watching. I hope you found value in the clip, and until next time, thanks for watching.